Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 9 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone's having a great day, safe day. It's making it a great night, folks. Make it a great weekend. If you're traveling, please be safe. You get a lot of rough weather coming up the East Coast. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Serve the one you love. Once you decide to be a couple, you're there to serve the one you love, to serve your love to your lover. And every kiss and every touch, you feel you're there to please the one you love without expecting anything back. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow Industrials flat. NASDAQ was up 23. S&Ps were flat. Gold contract flat. 1,242 an ounce. Silver down 5 pennies at $19.83 an ounce. Platinum off $10 at $1,375 an ounce. Copper down 2 pennies at $3.20 a pound. Light sweet crude off 25 cents, trading at $93.84 a barrel. Bonds up 17 ticks at 132.16. King dollar down 328 ticks, trading out at 80.63. The euro up 56 at 135.72, and the yen trading at 101.25. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world. In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. What do you have? You get to 1808.42. The high out there yesterday was the 18.8.10. We're at the 1804. We do a 692 million shares. That's pushing into, of course, the 796. Bottom line, you got higher price. Small price spread. No volume once again. We'll see how this baby does shake out. You took a look at the Dow Industrials. Dow turned around, got to another high out here today. Dow got to a price point of 16,120, closed at the 16,074. And what you have here is that you have not only a crawl all the way up, last 2 days, you got to 16,109 yesterday, 16,120 today. What's going to get coming into a holiday week, one of the largest. So Wednesday, folks, tomorrow what you're going to have is this. You're going to have light volume. Friday, we're open to half a day. And Friday can be a wild card in an extraordinary way, let me tell you. And I'm talking about either up or down. I've seen the biggest days actually up on a Friday after Thanksgiving. We'll see if this baby does shake out. But bottom line, you can expect some volatility more than likely on Friday. I don't expect we're going to have volatility tomorrow. The way Europe, I'll go through Europe in a second. The way Europe closed, it looks like we should pull back slightly tomorrow. I suspect, though, the volume's going to be hard to get on the pullback. NASDAQ Composite gets to a price point of 4017. That closed at a high. We did 1.8 billion versus the 1.8. Bottom line, that should be banging out about 2.8 billion. We take a look at the SPY. This is what you have with the SPY, the SPY. The SPY, we did 82 million shares. You got to a price point of 181.22. Yesterday, the high out there was 181.17. We closed at the 180.68. And this is a classic, folks. The classic being you run it up all day long, run, no volume all the way up. Within the last 20 minutes, the SPY gave up everything in the last 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and just basically closed where it had opened, actually closed a little bit underneath it. And that's an absolute classic. NASDAQ Composite. We take a look at the composites. It did the exact same thing. What the composite did, the Qs rather. The Qs, well, they didn't sell off as much. They sold off halfway. So the Qs got to a price point of 84. They closed out here at 84.63. We take a look at the small caps. What you have with the small caps is this. Small caps got to a price point of 113, and they basically had stayed up there. None of them had any juice, but they did stay up there. Gold contract. Now, we have a gold as this. Gold contract got to a price point today of 1257.80. Closed out at 1241, and we did 161,000 contracts. I actually just came back from the Hard Asset Show in San Francisco. We'll talk about that as the show goes on. So, what do we have here? Well, the way this is set up right now, folks, you're going to go in, it's going to want to test the low of yesterday once again, which is the 12.2570. Now, when we came down to the 12.2570 yesterday, we did that on 195,000 contracts. That's not enough to bust out that bottom that has been in place since June 28th. Bond market. We go take a look at bonds. What we did with bonds is this. Bonds did 562,000 contracts. It's the 30-year. 30-year right now is at 132.16. And the 30-year, folks, okay, this baby wants to run up into this 135.24. We take a look at the 10-year TYZ3. The 10-year bond out here is at 126.31. This did, oh, this is going to be a monster, folks. So check this out. Oh, this is going to be big. Check this out. We did 2 million contracts. So you're pushing on a swing point, and it's an extraordinary push. This is what it is. So we're up 9 ticks. We did 2 million contracts. 2 million is going into 1 million contracts. And I can tell you, a 2 million contract day in the 10-year, folks, is a big number. Big number. Now, what I definitely would have liked to see is more wider price spread. But when you're pushing a swing point, you're doing it on volume, that is saying we are going to go after the 128.02. The 128.02, if you break the 128.02, that is going to be an ABC structure up. And that ABC structure up will actually take the 10 years almost back to, in fact, it would take it actually lower than the lowest yield we've had thus far. Right now, the 10-year is running at a 2.7. We had, at the highs of the bond market, the lows of the year, it was a 1.67. The market had gone from a 1.67 to a 3 handle. When it hit that 3 handle, it just barely hit it. Now it's coming back the other side. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world. Let's go over to the dollar index next. So, what did the dollar index do? Dollar index today, down 318 ticks. We did 21,000 contracts. The 21,000 contracts is coming into 31,000. So, what you need, the dollar index is going to need a lot more contracts to basically get to lower levels. The dollar, when it took over the B point on November 7th, has the volume characteristic, did 42,000 contracts there. It's turned into basically a complex ABC structure on the way up. The dollar wants higher price, and that higher price on the dollar, I suspect, is up to the 83 to the 85 area. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Now, talk about the hard asset show. Okay, so the hard asset show, folks, is all the gold companies. It's surprising there was anyone even there. But there were very few people there. That's the bottom line. And the yin and yang of it goes like this. The best presentation I saw, no doubt, was, and I talked to him, was Mark Bristow, who's the CEO of Rango Resources. We talked about, so check this out. This is pretty cool. Let's go and look at Barrick, ABX. I want to show you something. So we were talking about Barrick, and sure enough, he was talking about Barrick. Barrick needs money. Big money, folks, okay? Now, what's also going on, which he explained to me with Barrick, is that they were doing a secondary. So Barrick right now is at 16.21. They've been trying to hold this up, by the way. When I was at that workshop, that conference yesterday, intraday, there was a 5 million trade that went through, and that no doubt was a broker-dealer trying to hold that up. Because what's going on right now, out of that secondary, right now, the broker-dealer community, you talk about being stuck. Bottom line, right now, someone's stuck with $1 billion cash-wise in the shares that haven't moved out into the marketplace, and it's going to be a problem. And when he was talking about it, bottom line is that he was talking about Barrick really going to close 21 mines. And what it all comes down to is this, is that the grade that these companies have gone after doesn't work. You know, when you have 1 gram per ton and you're going after that, there's no way it works. He was also talking about that in this run, what many of those companies had done is that they dusted off old plans that had gold inside them, but the gold had to run up to a certain price. Now, the attitude there there were too many people that actually thought that this had to be the bottom, which is like, okay. But it's close, because what you did have is the aisles were empty. This is Tom O'Brien. This is TFNN. You stay right there, folks. Get our man, Mr. John Logan, coming up next.